My name is Hellen. I'm originally from R East. I joined R West just 3 months ago because I moved into Parklands. I would like to share my testimony with all of you, and I hope you'll be blessed. In September, we had the Rema Feast. I was in my room at that particular night on the last day of the prayer, and Joshua Selman called in saying that he wanted to pray for the sick. Before I left the country, I visited a doctor who told me that my blood pressure was elevated. So at that particular moment, I remember that, and I said, I'm going to put my hand on my chest, covering my breast, and pray that I don't have hypertension. So I was praying. My body started, like shivering. I started getting cold, and I didn't know what was happening to me at that particular time. 3 weeks after that, I left my workstation and went back to Nairobi. So what I did was, after I got back to Nairobi, I just went to the doctors. So I did many tests, and during those period of tests, and I was seeing the trend of the kind of tests that the doctors were requesting from me. So on my last test, which was a biopsy, I did it in December, and I was told in 2 weeks I will be able to get my results. So December 16th, I was called in by the doctor. My results are out, and he just asked me a simple question: how did you get here? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, I'll tell you one thing, Helen. The person that you serve, I don't know if you serve God, but if that is the person that you serve, he's the one who brought you to the hospital to get checked. And I was like, why? Like, I'm going to tell you, it's not good news, but it is good news at the same time. You have been diagnosed with a breast cancer, stage 1. And the good news is it's treatable. So do not worry. Go home, enjoy Christmas, and let's meet in January. So I stayed home, just waiting for January to come and go back to the hospital. Before I went for my treatment, which they had planned for me, I had a little prayer that I wrote down. And I remember this is a prayer that actually gave me peace. I said to God, that I know this cancer did not catch him by surprise, that he's got it under control. And my prayer is that for the doctors to ask wisdom from him, that they may be able to administer the right treatment, And it was a prayer that I was praying every single day. I received some peace in my heart. So in January, I went for my first treatment, which was a surgery. And after the surgery, I had to wait for about 6 weeks to be reviewed again and go into the next treatment. So after the 6 weeks were done, after the surgery, they called me, and one of the doctors told me, because your case is very small, Helen, we will fix you and you will get back to where you have been. So at least that gave me some peace, knowing that in as much as you have breast cancer, but it will be treated and you will be back to where you're supposed to be. 3 weeks after that, I was booked in to start a radiation treatment, which was to take place for a whole month every single day. And before I started the treatment, my doctor called me and told me, like, this is what you expect. These are the kind of side effects you're going to be getting. And just basically everything that I should expect on that particular treatment. So day 1, I started the treatment. I was okay. Everything went well. Day 2, because they told me, like, day 5, I should start experiencing side effects. After 3 sessions, they called me, no side effects. After 1 week, no side effects. So at that particular point, I just kept telling myself, like, my case is different. I'm going to get out of this strong. So I was able to finish my treatment, not knowing that, but the last day of my treatment was actually on a Good Friday. That was on the 7th of April. What I did not know was, this was not even planned, I didn't know when my last day, but looking at the calendar, and I was marking getting to the last day, I realized my last day was falling on a Good Friday. And for me, that was an indication that God was in this thing from the beginning. And that for me was the last day. And I say to myself, it is finished. I look back now, looking back now and reviewing everything that I have been through, and trust me, I know that from the beginning, from the day I felt the lamp, God was in this thing. And I go back telling you all that there is nothing that God cannot do. All you have to do is to be still and let him do what he is there to do. And I hope that this will bless you. And do not forget that prayer is the key, because for me, prayer really helped me every single day to know that there is nothing that God cannot do. I bless you.